Today we are talking about fluids in motion, and this is some of the fun stuff. We get to talk about Bernoulli's principle, and you're going to be doing a lot of really cool labs and demos with Bernoulli's principle. So kind of a little bit of fun stuff, at least to start, and then just some definitions kind of to end. So Bernoulli's principle says the pressure in a fluid decreases as the fluid's velocity increases. Okay, so pressure decreases as velocity increases. So the faster the speed of the fluid, the lower the pressure. Okay. So fluid always flows from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure. We remember that. Like I said, we're going to do lots of demonstrations and lots of mini labs. So you're going to get this over and over and over again, and you're going to be writing kind of the same things over and over again. But it's really pretty cool the things that this does and kind of the everyday experiences that you had because of this. The faster fluid goes, the lower the pressure. So let's say that you start with this one. You have an old-time shower. You have a shower curtain hanging there. You turn the shower on, so here the shower head's behind here. You turn the shower on full blast. The water goes streaming out. You get inside, and what does the shower curtain do? It pulls in, and it touches you, and it gets cold, and you feel all bad. Okay, the shower curtain pushes in. Well, why does the shower curtain blow in? Okay. It was low pressure in the water because it was moving quickly, higher pressure outside because it wasn't moving quickly, so fluids always go from high to low, so it pushed the shower curtain in. There used to be a danger with trains. Okay, the air on the inside got moving faster, so it was lower pressure, so the high pressure on the outside would shove them together. Okay, it doesn't happen anymore. You don't have to worry about that. But with boats and stuff, you do. And there's a question in your book that two boats are going next to each other. And because the water is going fast in between, the boats actually get pulled together. Okay. One time I was driving down the highway, and there was this pickup truck. So here's my pickup truck. Okay. And it had one of those plastic chairs. Okay, one of those like white plastic chairs in the back of it, in the bed. So it was going down 635, and it got on, it was going faster, 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 and this chair started to hover, and then all of a sudden the chair just got sucked out. Again, we can't use the word suck here for physics, high to low, but the chair flew out the back and then was smashed by another car moving behind it. I got out the side because I knew what was happening. But as the air started going faster and faster over the top, okay, it was lower pressure. The higher pressure in the bed of the truck pushed the chair up and out, and the chair flew out. Fireplace. Let's say you're starting a fire in your fireplace. Is it better to start your fire? So there's my chimney. Oops, that was ugly. There's my fireplace, and here's my fire in there. Is it better to start the fire on a windy day or a calm day outside? It's better to start your fire on a windy day because the wind is blowing across the top of the chimney, making low pressure. The high pressure in your house will then force the smoke up and out the chimney. Okay. Same thing for these pit toilets that you see at like national parks. They have the chimney stack going up here where the wind is a little bit stronger, making low pressure. Notice that they have a little inlet here. Okay, the high pressure is going to go in through there, under in the bottom of the door, up into the toilet, and it's going to push the bad smells, or hopefully push the bad smells, up and out of there. Okay, a lot of people, they get to the national park and they go, "Oh man, the stinky bathroom! I'm going to prop the door open and get some air in." That's the worst thing you could do, because it upsets this flow. It upsets this Bernoulli's principle idea. You want to keep the door shut and let the air flow through, as Bernoulli's principle says, and then it should hopefully take out some of the bad smell. Otherwise, you're trapping the bad smell in with you if you open the door. Okay, we're going to do tons of examples in class with this, and it's pretty fun. Okay. We get to airplanes. A lot of people think that airplanes fly because of Bernoulli's principle, and this is why. Okay. They see the air going, so here's a side view of the wing. It's curved at the top, okay, more flat on the bottom. So the air is going over the top, like that. It's curved, and on the bottom it's going straight over. The air on the top is going faster, which makes low pressure. Okay? Faster it is, lower the pressure, so it's high pressure underneath, and up, high to low, your airplane flies. Okay. That's the idea that even your textbook says. Okay, airplanes fly because of Bernoulli's principle. This actually turns out it's not really true. It only produces about 3% of the lift for an airplane. The real reason an airplane flies is because of something called the Coanda Effect, and then Newton's third law in conjunction with the Coanda Effect. So let me show you the Coanda Effect. You've seen it in action many times and experienced it in action. The Coanda Effect says a fluid sticks to the side of the surface it's flowing over, following the surface as it bends. So here's a simple demonstration of it. You turn on the water. Instead of the water just dropping down straight, the water will stick to this curved surface and flow off to the side like that. Okay. Like I said, lots of everyday experiences. You look at a juice pitcher. It has this funny little curve on it. Okay. That's because when you pour your juice out, if you didn't have this funny little curve, the juice would stick to the curved surface and run back down your arm, the pitcher in your arm. If you go have lunch, you're going to see that the salad dressing containers have a little lip like this. Okay, so when you dump it out, it hopefully is going to flow out. It's not going to run up the back of it and run down your arm to your elbow. Maybe you've been in the shower and you're shampooing your hair, you have soap on it, and the water runs down your arm to your elbow and streams off. Okay, that's the Coanda Effect. You notice the downspouts in the Fine Arts Building or the new Wellness Center. They have the ends of the downspouts have a little shape like this, so that again the water will flow out and hopefully not follow that curved surface back. So all this is about the Coanda Effect. So really, airplanes fly because of the Coanda Effect. So if I draw my airplane wing, okay, so there's my airplane wing, and it's bent again. The air is flowing up and over and around, and it curves down like that, okay, because it follows this curved surface. As the air is bent down, Newton's third law says there has to be an equal and opposite reaction force, which is pushing the airplane up. Okay? Just like you see in this picture here. You can do this at home. You have a balloon with a string and a little weight tied to it. The air, you blow over the top, the air is going to follow the bend of the balloon. If the air goes down, Newton's third law says the balloon goes up. Same thing for the airplane. If the air is bent down, Newton's third law says the airplane goes up. Okay, so airplanes fly mainly because of Newton's third law, and then the Coanda Effect with the bending. Okay. Now, because we're talking about airplanes, we're just going to go through some of the basic definitions, so I'm just going to run through these fairly quickly, and you can pause it and just write them down. There's not a whole lot to it. Okay. Lift is the upward force on an object moving through a fluid. Okay, so upward force on an object moving through a fluid. The amount of lift a plane has depends on three main things. The amount of thrust. Thrust is the pushing or pulling force exerted by the engine. Okay. The more thrust, the more lift. Wing size. The bigger wings are going to provide more lift. Okay, because they're going to have more air being pushed down, so more Newton's third law upward. The wing shape. The more curved it is, the more air goes down, Newton's third law, the more it goes up. Okay, so lift is the upward, okay, for these three main reasons. Thrust is the forward, caused by the engines. Okay, so we need to talk about drag. So I said, think about the last time you walked through a strong wind. The wind seems to drag you backwards or pull you backwards. Okay, that actually is called drag. Okay, all fluids exert a force called drag that opposes or restricts the motion of objects moving through the fluid. Drag is caused by an irregular flow of air. An irregular or unpredicted flow of fluids is called turbulence. Okay? So drag is that backward force that opposes or restricts motion. Turbulence is the unpredicted flow of fluids or air. So lift is reduced when turbulence causes drag. And you probably noticed it during a flight, and airplanes have flaps on the wings to change the shape of the wing to try to reduce the turbulence and drag. So looking at our picture again, the lift is up, thrust is forward, drag is that backwards force, and then gravity, and then also turbulence. So I'm going to write turbulence in here. So turbulence is kind of the down. Okay, so turbulence is down. So we have lift up, thrust forward, drag backwards, and turbulence down. And you see an airplane wing, and they can control the flaps to change the shape of the wing to try to get it just right for the amount of lift they want. Okay, as the plane is really high, going fast, they don't need the wing curved very much. Okay, because they don't need that much lift. They're having lots of thrust. Okay, the thrust is helping with the lift. As they slow down, they might have to bend the wing more to get more lift by turning it. But if they turn it too much, then you might have a problem. The air can't stick to the surface. It goes straight instead, and they're not getting the lift. You've probably done this by sticking your hand out of the car window, like on your way home from school. And you kind of cup your hand, you're going out the car window, and you're swooping up and down and left and right, and it's kind of fun. You make your own airplane, and you get kind of too steep an angle, and it doesn't produce that lift, and it slaps your hand back, and you hit it against the car. Okay, that's the same thing that the flaps are doing on an airplane. Okay. The last thing for this unit is Pascal's principle. I'm going to run through it fairly quickly now. We're going to do a demo on it in class. So I'm starting with an example, and I said the water pumping station increases the water pressure by 20 pascals. Will the water pressure be increased more to store 2 blocks away or to home 2 kilometers away? If you think logically, the answer will be it's going to be the same. The pressure is going to increase the same either way. Otherwise, if it increased more at the house that was close, the water pressure would be incredible. It'd, blow out the faucets. And then if you lived far away from the water tower, you wouldn't have as much water pressure. Okay, the water pressure is going to be the same because of Pascal's principle. A change in pressure at any point in an enclosed fluid knows it has to be enclosed. Okay, a change in pressure at any point in an enclosed fluid will be transmitted equally to all parts of the fluid. We see in this picture here that this is a container of water or some kind of a fluid, and they're pushing down with this piston here. They're pushing down with this force. That force is transmitted equally to all parts of the fluid. This is an important thing when we start talking about hydraulics. So in real life, Pascal's principle is used every day, many, many places. One of the best examples, brakes in cars. So here is a simplified picture showing your car. So you have your brake pedal. This is where you stomp on, with your foot. So here's your foot stomping on this brake pedal. When you stomp on the brake pedal, it tries to condense the fluid in the master cylinder here. Because it's a fluid, hydraulic fluid was caused, it can't be compressed. It sends that force down through tubing. So you have tubes of fluid running through your car. And that fluid then will press the brake shoes onto the wheel and stop your car. Okay? So you don't have to have a little motor by each wheel to cause your brakes to stop the car. You can just compress or try to compress the fluid, and it will send the pressure down and clamp it. Hydraulics in like a crane or something like this work the same way. You have your one engine in here, and then you have tubes of fluid that go to all parts of the crane. And then the operator has these different controls, and he can control where the pressure is put on the fluid, and then the fluid will transmit the pressure and make the crane arm do all sorts of different things. I'll show you an example kind of like this car example here. So you go to get your car, the oil changed, and they put it on a little platform that raises because of hydraulics. Okay, it's a hydraulic fluid. And I'm going to show you this. The idea here is that you have a big distance here to go down, and then a littler distance. So even a light person